What's up? Welcome back, everybody. Thank you for stopping by. Today we're talking about the fatal mistake that Rockstar has made. I'm Bandit Barney, bringing you everything you need to know about Red Dead 2 and Red Dead Online. And I need to start out this video by saying the last week, half week of the videos we put out have been pointing out like all the bad things that came with the update, and really they'd had like a pessimistic outlook, and that's because I think the majority, if not all of the community, has been really frustrated with this update. Now today I don't want to take that really pessimistic rant style video that was the last video we did in the comments video we did, but instead I'm gonna just point out the area where Rockstar has made the critical mistake that is leading to Red Dead Online not succeeding. That is their communication. But specifically, I want to dive into how that's affected their game with this recent update and the griefer changes. So as we all know, the griefer changes were the player blip color changes in the law and bounty system that they introduced to the game. The player blip, basically, by default, you're going to be blue. If you haven't fought other players, you're a blue blip. If you fought other players, you become a red blip, and somewhere in between there is the purple blip, okay? Now, the law and bounty system, which is the much more complicated system, I have an in-depth video on that if you don't fully understand it yet. But essentially, this system is a way that the game tracks how often or how criminal you've been. And at a certain point, which is $10 in the bounty system, you will get bounty hunters on you that will hunt you down and take that money from your wallet. So that's the general overview of that bounty system. We'll link down below the video if you want a real in-depth guide on what that goes, on what that bounty system looks like. But so this overall was implemented to help with griefers in the game, because there was a significant portion, not the whole community, but a significant portion of the community that was upset with griefers, and that same portion of the community had been asking for like private lobbies and things where they could just go and enjoy the world of Red Dead Online without the extra people that would come and interfere in that. Okay, good. There was the middle ground, which is the stance I took, which is, you know, it's the Wild West. I don't think that we should take everyone out of it. I think we should all be in this world of the Wild West, but griefers are an issue, and especially for people who are playing with one friend or two friends and not getting that full posse and playing, you're always at the peril of a possible griefer coming by. So these new changes are supposed to help us and fix this griefing issue. Unfortunately, it's kind of done quite the opposite. So now we have this system where we see the red player blips and we know, okay, we can avoid them, and that's great. It's great that now we know if a player, we're going past someone, if they're gonna grief us or not, or the probability that they will. We can go past blue players when we've gone hunting and we've got our horse full of stuff, and we can go past them with more comfortability. And the red players we can avoid, knowing that, hey, they're probably gonna shoot me. Awesome. But what's happened now is that the griefers are still out there, and even now, with the recent changes in the update, inherently, like the game has actually gotten like less to do for some people. Not objectively less to do, because they've added more to the game, but they've nerfed a lot of the activities that a lot of players, I would even go to say most players, would do. So there's a lot less to do for the average player, and now griefing has become something that's actually like enticing, because when you go to grief someone, chances are they're not going to fight back. If they fight back, they incur a bounty on themselves. So if you go grief someone, at that point, the best thing they can do is parlay and wait 10 minutes to you know, see what happens after that. That's nice. Like that's nice. But what happened is now we have this, I don't want to say plethora, but there's a certain amount of griefers out there that just go and grief you, and the best thing for you to do is just sit down and let it happen. Because if you don't sit down and let it happen and you fight back, you incur a bounty. Unless you're in a posse and you can get your posse in a feud, you're gonna incur a bounty. And this is like the goal of those griefers. You know, you would even think at some point is that they just want to go around and causing you because to have this no good option scenario. If you get griefed, you don't have a good option. Now I want to tie this back to the communication from Rockstar, because I believe this is a communication error. Rockstar has done a very, very poor job of communicating with the player base, and really this extent of their communication has been letting us know what things they're adding to the game, and I mean, I focus on Twitter, where they announce a lot of things, and on Twitter they showcase every once in a while a player who is really enjoying Red Dead Online and has taken some pictures of their character and stuff, and it's really cool stuff. Or someone who's talking about the music in the game, which is very good, and Rockstar just saying like, sweet, you know, glad you're enjoying it. That's the extent of their communication. And at that, even when they communicate what's coming to the game, they only deliver on it half the time. So their communication has been really bad. And these griefer updates that were changes that were supposed to help us all with griefers ended up not helping us. They added a value of griefing, which is even worse than it was before, where now if you do end up getting griefed, it's like, oh, you just gotta lay down and let it happen, unless you want it to negatively affect your wallet in game, which now more than ever means that much, because it's harder to earn money than it ever has been in Red Dead Online. And that communication leads to the players and the developer moving in different directions. Now, at the end of the day, the developer and the players ultimately want the same thing, which is a very fun game that everyone enjoys. The developers want that because when we enjoy their game, there's more money being made. And the players enjoy that because when we enjoy their game, there's more players to play with. So that is ultimately the goal that we want to go to. And really great developers who have good communication with their player base, this is what happens when they put an update out like the one that Rockstar's just put out, where it has things come out of it that weren't expected. In this case, griefers like having this powerhouse hand when they go around the map just destroying other players. So that was not expected to happen, but it did. And that happens. Even good developers put out updates that don't have the expected outcome. The update brings something new, a new bug, or something that hurts the game. Normally, that developer will communicate with the players, and the players will come around to the perspective that, all right, we get it. We understand. You guys are moving with us, trying to get in the same direction. We both want this game to be really good, and that's where we're moving. We can tell that you as a developer are going in that direction because you're communicating with us. So something bad came out of your update. We're open to it. We're elastic with it. We're not going to snap and break and leave because there's this momentary problem. But rather, you've communicated that that was not what you intended, and that now you're working on a solution. Players are happy. Even though something new came to the game that doesn't make the game better or more enjoyable, players are actually happy because they feel like they're being listened to, and they also feel like, and this is the main point, that the game is moving in the direction where there's more players to play with, and it's a more enjoyable experience. That is what makes the players happy. When the dev doesn't communicate with the player base, what happens is that the players, even though they want to move in this direction of more enjoyable, not all of us players agree with each other, right? So we don't all agree with each other. So even if the dev does something that half the players were asking for, the other half are unhappy because they didn't get what they wanted. So without that communication, that's the scenario you get. In that same scenario, if you have the communication, the other half of the players that didn't get what they wanted to get are still enjoy it and aren't as discouraged because they feel like, okay, we didn't get what we wanted to get, but the devs are clearly working in the direction that we all want to go. Now, it's even worse when you put out an update that adds something new to the game that is not enjoyable, that is, you know, that we would expect should be fixed, and then you don't communicate about it at all. What happens is your whole player base becomes alienated. On top of that, let's take out the update and let's just say there's no communication. What the dev does is they'll continually improve a game, but without the communication, the players never feel like they have that true connection to where the game is going. They never feel like they are actually a part of what's going to happen in the future of the game, and because of that, they don't feel as encouraged or want to be a part of that long-term player base. And this is the fatal mistake that Rockstar has made. They're terrible at communicating with the players. Terrible. It's hard to say if it's going to be something that hurts, like that is going to damage the Rockstar, you know, in the long term. Like, if they're going to be able to turn this around in a year and Red Dead Online will be really fun, this won't be as big an issue. But regardless, I would say, if for some reason all the people with years and years and years of experience in developing games and being a part of that space at Rockstar asked me, who has absolutely no experience in developing games or being in that space, what you could do to improve your game, it wouldn't even be adding anything into the game. What I would tell them is that, yo, talk to your players. Talk to them. Open up a Reddit and communicate with them on a weekly basis. I guarantee players will be more happy about your game. I guarantee. This is, I think, if they ask me, that's the one thing I would say. If you want to make Red Dead Online better, you don't even need to do anything about Red Dead Online right now. That will naturally happen as you open up communication with the players. This has been Rockstar's Fatal Mistake. Let me know what you think down below in the comments. Guys, thank you so much for the recent support on the channel. I want to say we do have another channel. It's Backpack Barney. I do Apex content. If you are interested in that, go ahead and check it out. It will be linked down below. If that doesn't suit your fancy, don't worry. This Bandit Barney, we're not going anywhere. We're going to keep the Red Dead Online content coming. We have other channels that me and my brother are working on. So Backpack Barney is one of them. We do Apex content daily. If that suits you, go ahead and jump over there. Otherwise, thank you so much for stopping by. I really, really appreciate you. And until the next time, take care.